Happy?
Always happy, bro. Today we are going to talk about surprises.
Surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise.
Good. So, just for the record, so I get you enjoyed this. What did you say you're going to call this episode again?
Can't remember.
Don't lie. Don't lie.
You got to listen to your team.
Yeah! First time in 20 years that I get some credit.
Whatever.
Awesome, bro. Awesome.
Yeah.
It's so good to see that. So good to see that. Nah, I'm kidding. Anyway.
No, you have to.
Yeah, of course. Of course. That's the beauty of it. You know, there's people around the table. And it's funny because on that table, the table, we call it focus leads in our church, but on that table, the vast majority of them, except for Dan has been in ministry for a long time, we're all learning from you. We're all apprentices from you, from Dan. So we all have, at least, to be very conservative, half of the experience. Some of us, not even that. But, like you always talk about Rafa and Sasha, for example, the guys leading our family time, they know better than anyone because you delegated, you taught them well, and now you sort of out of touch.
And it's growing.
Yeah.
So they would be involved in more than when I was running family time.
Yeah.
Like family time's changed a lot since I ran it. Just because of growth and team and process and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they would be far more have far more knowledge on it than anyone else.
I think it's a beautiful testimony to a characteristic that you always say it's very important to anyone who wanna lead anything, which is teachability.
Yeah.
If you're not teachable, you're not gonna do anything. And there you are, like leading the table, and like, oh, your team is speaking, and then you got a surprise, and then okay, listen to your team. That's great, love it. Now, tell us the story. What happened that you came to that realization? Just backtrack a little bit, and then we'll start.
So we're gonna start a church in Pimpama. So selling our house, moving closer up there, and in a school, so it's quite nostalgic, brings back memories from 11 years ago. So I'm like, oh yeah, we'll just start small, just in an outdoor area, few families, guitar, pray, simple.
Yeah. And we've been saying, let's stop.
So everyone else has been saying.
So the last episode, we went to the school, we filmed it, and then I was excited. I was like, here's the car park, here's this, here's that. And then we're talking about the structure, where we're going to place stuff. Oh, kids going to be there. And then you're like, man, it's just simple. Take it back. Just a small group of people. Like you always say, a few good men, a few good families. And then you're taken aback because something happened during the week. And you go like,
so, after the meeting, people have been saying there's more families than you think. And I'm like, maybe 10, maybe 15 families. And then I got an email from someone saying that they're coming up to Pimpama. And on the first Sunday, they want their granddaughter dedicated. So I'm like, awesome, because they did one of my banquets.
Awesome.
And she was pregnant at the time when she did my banquet. It was quite a cool journey. And then I've known the mother for a while. Anyway, she said, can we do dedication? But we've got some family coming over from New Zealand.
I'm on.
At that time. So they want to be here for the dedication. Can they lock it in?
Amazing.
So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And then I'm realizing, there's 7 in that family, plus then her friends and family from New Zealand.
So just that little group with that little baby dedication will probably amount to the amount of people
so
that
that'll
you
be
thought you would be there.
15 people just from that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Because then we'll do a sort of a celebration morning tea for the baby dedication. And
So if we're thinking logistics, 15 family means
15
5
in that
cars.
family.
Yeah, so that's 5 cars, maybe. 15 in that family, 5 cars, maybe 6. And then maybe 4 kids, 5 kids. Just that little group. Yeah.
And then there's another 10 families. And then just today,
Come on.
I was going to a cafe in Wurrunggeri.
Yeah.
And I saw 2 men from Chapel there. So I'm like,
They're from up there.
I'm like, hey guys, what are you up to? And they're like, oh, we're just meeting here. I'm like, where do you live? Oh, Pimpama. Where do you live? Pimpama. I'm like, what are you guys meeting down here for? And they're like, oh, the other ones up there don't open early enough.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
know
like,
the cafe that opens early, so that's another one for you guys.
Yeah.
Very good.
so I'm like, so then I say, oh, look, we're actually starting chapel in Pimpama. They're like, oh, we're there. We'll be keen as we're in.
Come on.
So that's a family of 6 and a family of 5.
So you were thinking there would be maximum 50 people, and now just
No,
this week there's like 30 people.
I still think it's max 50 adults. Yeah, but there's probably like 40 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hectic.
which is hectic.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So now I'm like, okay, I yield. My disillusion bubble is
Finally
burst. And yeah, so I'll be talking to a few people about helping out certain roles, and
awesome.
And we'll have kids area sorted.
Which is an interesting dynamics for us to put across, because most people watching, following the content, if they fit into the category of a church planner, they might be planning their first church. So we can talk about your prior experience, your prior journey, and all that, which is good. But before we go there, you have a particular tension with yourself of not driving, not pushing people to do something, because you have this natural way of leading. You put your hands to it, and then when people see you doing it, they're like, oh, Marshall's doing it, I'll do it too. So you're patient enough to wait for their hand to go up. People who are watching might not be in that case because they recruit. So now you literally gotta say, oh, we kind of need someone to look after the kids. Yeah. So you go back to our team, or you go back to some people who serve here.
I know someone that's going to Pimpama,
yeah,
who's trained in that area, part of chapel in the Rang anyway. So I'll talk to them about just for a period of time, because I know it's not their passion, it's their work, it's their job. So they don't want to do their job 6 days a week.
Yeah, and then on Sunday.
Yeah. So I'm just like, for a little time, can they, make sure it's safe and done well, and sort of takes leadership of it. She's a good leader anyway. Yeah. So, I know, I trust her and know her. So there's a level of security in that already. And I already know a couple of people that have said to me they're happy to help out on kids. So I'm like, okay, 1, 2, you can help her.
That's a golden gem right there, because a lot of people who were burnt, they were burnt because they were recruited too early. Yeah. I need you to do something for me, which is the volunteer case in churches. We're just getting people to do for free what we think it's important. Yeah. So in our case, I know who you're talking about, but just to generalize, you've served long enough. You've been there long enough.
I know them so well.
There is trust.
Yeah.
So you can say, look, could you do something for us? Not for me, but for us. Yeah. And step into this thing, which is going to be weird. But
it'll be no problem. And then I'll rely on Sash and Huff and the kids team in the Rang. I'll get a few containers and say, can you put these in age-appropriate boxes so that there's some colouring and activities and toys and snacks, so that we can take it there and it's all resourced for the team.
Kids. Before we jump into the surprises, it's just something I'm thinking. It would sound really weird, or it would feel really weird for her, for example, if there's 50 people there, and let's just say 50 adults, and maybe 5 of them work in the area, but we don't have enough trust yet, not enough relationship. Maybe they've been in church for 2 years, a year, they're just checking out. They hear about Pimpama, they come. So there's no expectation in the way we run things that we would recruit and ask them to do that.
No.
But if she's going there, she's been here for 5 years, she's served, she's seen, she trusts us, she would come to you and say, why didn't you ask me? I'm here, right? Like it would feel weird. It would feel like we're not counting on anyone.
We're not.
Because, but it will feel weird for her. Like, you could have asked me. I'm happy to help. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? Like, she could be like...
But there are people that'll come that I could have asked, but I haven't asked.
Why her then?
Because I know her so well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, you know her so well that she would feel strange that you didn't ask when you needed
I can rely on them. I'm like, okay, that's looked after for now. And then I look after this, and then revisit and say, okay, how's it going? What sort of an exit strategy for you? Because I know it's not your passion. Yeah. You're just doing it to help the family right now.
Which ties into our release on purpose thing. We don't ask people to do things for us.
Yeah, like even the singing and the music. So I said I wouldn't need a sound system. Now I'm like, okay, we need a sound system. So I'll talk to them about, okay, what does that look like? Let's be honourable and just not sort of expect them to give it to me for nothing. And
because it is their gear. Yeah,
it's their gear, and I want to honour that.
Yeah.
And
they'll probably say no, but anyway.
Yeah, they might say no, but if they say this is what's required, then I'm like, that's fine as well. I'm prepared to pay the cost.
When we are doing that, and it brings me to memory the book that we're going through as a team, Lead from Second Chair.
Yeah.
So in that context, for example, stepping down to chapel, outside of what we do at FJC, to chapel. I'm new. I've only been there for a year, but I'm an intruder, natural intruder. I just come in. And then when we went visiting that school, I know you well, and I know what you wanted to do. Keep it simple, chilled, relax. So I got Jade on the back with me. She's like, oh, Marshall doesn't want to plug in the sound system. So I went behind your back. I was like, no, you bring the sound system, you plug it in, and if it doesn't use it, it doesn't use it. But make sure it's there, because it will be a mess if it needs to be plugged halfway through it. So you just bring it in, plug it in, and do your thing. You do you, and he'll do him. And so that was behind your back. And it brought me the memories of the Lead from the Second Chair. At some point, obviously that's not a major thing. That's not going to break the bank. That's not going to ruin the church. It's not that fragile. But it was at this time. Now I look back and I think, well, that was a good move, because if that happened as a surprise, like if 80 people show up as a surprise without announcing it to you, you'll be like, oh. So that's what the whole Leading from the Second Chair thing.
I wouldn't mind that though. Like,
I know you wouldn't.
I'm happy if it's a mess and
I know you wouldn't, but not everybody's as secure as you.
Yeah. So I'm like, it'll still be simple.
Yeah.
It'll still be simple.
Exactly.
It'll be raw and rough, stripped back. So there's a few people that are going to come early on the Sunday and just help me set up, and we'll have some. I'll get some containers for the kids, containers for hospitality, a few tables because we need some tables. I'll talk to someone about maybe the Ignite age group. I'll have a chapel guide there, and I'll probably run through the chapel guide because I'm going to have expectations on the school. Like, this is a beautiful school. Parents, you cannot let your kids run around this place. That sort of thing.
It'll make you better.
Yeah. So I'll probably go through that and just share simply about lower and slower. And while we're here, we're not here to build anything great. We're here to serve a community, see lives change, see families grow healthy.
Yeah.
So, I still will always push down for low and slow. Yeah. So
it's just easier to carry on.
Yeah. And if people can't handle, we should be this and should be that, I'm just like, nah, I've been there, done that. Yeah. We're not doing that.
We've seen the show, it's ugly behind the curtains.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. If people see a gap and they don't want to fill it, well, it'll be there until someone fills it. The gaps are okay. Yeah. So, yeah, so that's where we're at. I've paid the bond, paid the first 7 weeks rent for the school. So I'm just waiting to hear so I can go pick up the key.
Are you ready to? Oh, this is gonna air later on, later than that. So it's probably gonna be like second week or third week of December, something like that.
Our first week of December is the 3rd of December. The first week is where I've booked it from.
But they have an event there, like a Christmas function or something.
Not on the Sunday.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, on the Friday.
So first weekend, great. So we started on the first weekend.
Yeah. So I've got a trailer, a covered trailer, closed-in, waterproof trailer.
Yeah.
So we move house that week.
It's all over again.
Same as 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So we move that week. I'll make sure the trailer's empty, and then I'll fill up, come and fill up the Pimpama stuff.
Yeah.
In that trailer.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So let's talk about the preparation. Let's just pretend that there is no team of a church that we have worked on, planned it for 10 years.
Right.
And you are starting from the scratch.
So someone's listening and they're starting without 11 years already.
Yes.
Starting from scratch.
Where do you go? Let's talk about your case first. Where do you come from?
Yeah.
And
so I come from 20 years of serving someone else's vision, full time for 14 of those 20 years.
Yeah.
So I'm coming from a huge base of service and experience. So, when I come over here, there's people that already know me 11 years ago. They know I'm coming just because back then I was on social media.
Yeah, back then.
And then, so I said,
a bunch of Kiwis living in the Gold Coast.
There was some Kiwis. Yeah. Look, there was like a family from our church that lived in Brisbane, and they heard we were moving over. They moved 6 months prior, and they were like, "Oh, we'll come and support you." Now Brisbane's an hour away, so I'm thinking, "Oh, they come once a month," but they came every week, and we started in our lounge room. So we landed on the 22nd of July, 2012, and then 2 weeks after that, we just started in our lounge just with the people we knew. I knew a friend of mine. He was a barber in Auckland, and I used to get my hair clipped from him. So him and his family came. The family in Brisbane, they came. And then I got a phone call from another pastor saying that this other family was moving over. And they were in Brisbane as well. So I rang them, and they came and joined us. But I needed someone else to sign on the trust deed. So a good friend of mine in New Zealand, his uncle lived here. So I rang him. And so we started with that in our lounge room. And then a young lady came over who wanted to help out as well. So she came. And we just started from there, and more people just started coming to our house.
That's awesome.
And we didn't have, our container was 7 weeks late from arriving from New Zealand, our household contents. So we borrowed and camped out in the house we were renting. Even renting was a miracle. Like, how can you rent a house with no job, no income, no contract, no history here? Even that was a miracle. So we rented, and then the Friday before we started, so we start on, officially, all my friends and family want to come over for a big start.
That's how we did.
I'm not into big launches or anything, but they wanted to come over. So I just made a date, September the 9th. I didn't want to make it Father's Day, the first Sunday in September, so I just made it the next one. And so our container arrived on the Friday. So we were unpacking the container, starting the church, had 50 friends and family coming over, had 110 for lunch on the first day.
Wow.
In our house that we'd only just packed, and it was away. We're away. So I had a lot of base of sowing, into ministry. People want to reap. So I was planted in a church in Auckland for 20 years. So when I come over here to plant a church on the Gold Coast, the fruit from there still can be reaped here because it's in my life. So, of course, it's fruitful because it's from a base of 20 years sowing. When people start a church and they haven't done the base work, then you're going to be sowing for a long time to ever get the sense of depth and fruitfulness from the soil. So now that I'm going to plant in Pimpama, man, that's way different level because 20 years there, fruitful here. 11 years here, fruitful here. Yeah. I'm starting. It's going to be multiplied when I start there.
Yeah. And I love how you put these two words. I'm not sure if you intentionally differentiated them, but the experience and serving. Serving someone else's vision, you know?
Yeah.
We can interview church planners all day long and, I have experience with this, I have experience with that, but what's your fruit?
Yeah.
Where did you serve?
Yeah.
That was not your doing, like your idea.
No.
We know it's God leading, but, where did you serve that you had to sometimes submit and said, okay.
No, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. You have to serve another man's.
Yeah.
Why would God give you your own if you can't be trusted?
Yeah.
If you can't be faithful, if you can't multiply someone else's, you will not multiply your own.
Like you said, faithfulness is multiplication.
It's multiplication.
The talents is the best example.
The exact scenario.
It's not theirs. It's mine. I'm handling it to you.
Yep.
Multiply it.
Multiply it. Increase.
Yeah.
So if you don't increase someone else's, you won't increase your own. And I mean, that's pretty harsh, but that's a tested, proven model. Like Paul says, you can't be a novice. You have to be tested. And I'd rather be tested in an environment where I'm not the number one guy because the fallout will be too messy.
Mm-hmm.
I've been tested, and therefore the safety is better. You know, when they test something they make, like a table or something, they test it for hours in an environment that's not fatal.
Stressful.
Stress, they put stress. The Olympic, Vicky was telling me, the Olympic barbells that they use for weightlifting. Yeah. They have a machine.
That thing needs to be tested.
They have a machine that just runs 24/7 with barbells picking up, dropping it, dropping it, dropping it, dropping it, picking up, drop, pick up, drop. They're testing the strength of the barbell.
Wow.
So that's the only one in the world that just keeps going, testing the durability of the equipment.
Yeah. Jeez.
Why do we think that, we haven't been tested, that we're going to have the strength to hold and handle the weight?
It's a very dangerous presumption.
It's a dangerous presumption. Yeah. And the longer you spend in the testing, the stronger you'll be in the real thing. Yeah. That's, they test fire, they test iron, swords, they forge and forge and forge and forge it, reforge it to strengthen the steel. Too many church planners get disillusioned with the testing. I can do it better myself. Prematurely leave the process, and then they wonder why they're weak and struggle in the real thing.
Yesterday we had this story of blind people touching an elephant in different parts and describing the different parts of the elephant as different animals. One described it as a tree, the other one described it as a flying creature. And that is basically the same thing you're saying, like these guys leave prematurely because they only see one part of it. They think they can do better, but they haven't been tested, and they have no idea there's an elephant there.
No.
And
this is why I'm big on the release. Yeah. You need to be released and sent.
Yeah, not went.
Oh, but will I forget? I'll be... No, that's where you have to trust the Lord, that he knows who you are, that he's got your name and number, and that you just hold on in that situation until God says, now's the time. Yeah. Now, you can pray and convince yourself that now's the time.
Mm-hmm. We do that.
Oh, God, set me free. Lord, I want to go here. I want to go here. Lord, I want to go here. Guess what the Lord's going to say? Yeah. He's going to say, go there. Because you've convinced yourself that what the Lord has said.
But be reminded, I'm not sending you. You are wenting.
You went. You went. But when you're sent, there's a different, and I'm big on this. And, people think, oh, yeah, but you're staying in a place of, potential abuse or pain or whatever. Yeah, but who are you serving? God? Or do you trust God that He's got your number? He's got your appointment? That He's got your name? He knows the plans He has for you? Do you think if you're 20 years there that you've lost 20 years here? Or can He do in 1 year what took 20 years there?
Yeah, come on.
So I'm like, what are you putting your faith in?
And obviously there are procedures that you are well aware of when the situations are dangerous and things like that. That's not what we encourage.
Not at all.
We're not talking about scandals and all
when you're
that.
being in a cult.
Yeah.
You just have to endure in a
Exactly.
cult. No,
Exactly.
that's not what I'm saying.
Talking about obedience.
Yes.
Yeah. And there is a mystery, a mysterious element into trusting people who are leading you. Like God places these people there for a reason.
Yeah.
I read this morning something interesting. There is no plan B for you. God chose you to do this, which applies to anyone who's leading you too. God chose them to do that. If God wanted you, you would have been there.
Yeah.
Not them.
Yeah. And are they perfect? No.
No.
And are they going to make big mistakes? Yes. Just like you or me.
Are they going to assume that no one's going to show up and it's going to be small and we don't need anything? Yes.
Yes. So, yeah. It's exciting. It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm really happy.
So let's just talk briefly about what you did in the beginning. I keep saying you are an exception to the rule. You came from 20 years. Some people heard it. It started the best way. Like we all wish every church plant would start this way. We wish.
What way? Like
people knew
50
we came.
people.
It's healthy. No. When you started
Chapel.
back then in Chapel, Broad Beach, some people heard it. It was healthy. You had no rush. Things happened organically.
People came and went because it wasn't fitting their
agenda.
Their what they want. Expectation.
Yeah.
Like, man, the music was terrible. The sound was terrible. It was rough.
And it always is with every start.
Yeah, but that's people like, oh, this isn't for me. This is too awkward. Or this isn't slick enough or whatever. No lights or cameras or nice environment. It's just plastic chairs in a school hall. So we had a lot of people visit and say it's not for them because it's not quite the standard they wanted. The preaching's too short. Whatever. Who cares? The communion's crackers.
I don't get his jokes.
Whatever.
His sense of humor is weird.
So and that's okay. The kids program's not quite schmick enough.
Yeah.
Whatever, and that's okay. There's plenty of great churches on the Gold Coast for people to choose from.
Yeah.
So I've got no problem with it. But people come now after 11 years, go, wow, this is really amazing. Like, well, you haven't been part of the journey.
Yeah.
If you had stayed at the beginning, you would have been part of the shaping of it. It's been a pretty amazing journey.
Yeah.
And trying to push low and slow. Yeah.
So what would you say are the main, maybe 3, if we can go for the 5 things, activities that you are engaged on? You cannot say prayer. Okay, we already know that's your first point. Pray.
Yeah.
What are the 3 things that you are not concerned, but you're involved in? We got to do this now. That we know these people and all of that. What do you think?
Pimpama, you mean?
Yeah, for Pimpama.
Well, I've just got a list of things I need to sort out.
Yeah.
So I need some tables. I need some fencing for the kids. Yeah. Need some kids' craft. So I've got a list of things I practically need to do.
So logistics.
Yeah, logistics.
Okay, how do we run
signs.
This thing? Okay.
Like just where to park, because it's actually on a corner block. There's a big.
Yeah.
If you park at the front, you got a long walk. So, we need some simple signage. Yeah. So I've ordered the signs. the main intersection where you come to the school, there'll be a sign with an arrow, Gold Coast Chapel, and you'll go up the road. There'll be a flag there, Gold Coast Chapel. So it's really simple. No one has to. You just drive up there, and in there's the car park at the top. Tables for morning tea, some hospitality. So I'm thinking of all the lists. Then I'm thinking of the people that I'll have there and what I can ask them to help out with initially.
So you're thinking logistics?
Setup, kids,
music's
fine. It'll be hospitality next. So, team for that, which I've got some ideas for.
So you got, we always talked about ministry, music, and message.
The message is fine.
Yeah.
It's slower and slower.
Oh, we changed now. Is it going to be there? Because you were talking about devotion.
Oh, it'll be our devotion. The pace of our devotion is not for what we can get out of it.
The reality is you have a bunch of stuff on your table. You're just going to rock up and then it's going to come out.
Yeah. So devotion is for intimacy, not for getting outcomes.
Yeah.
You're devoted to the Lord.
Yeah.
And that should be slow and low. I'm not devoted to the Lord for what I can get out of it. I'm devoted to the Lord because it puts me in a place of humility, surrender. So it'll be like that. And I'll make the expectations really clear on the first day. So I'm thinking about the message. I'll have some time of prayer, probably in groups, when they're praying for the city, for their Pimpama, for their household, for their neighborhood. And a couple of songs, like simple songs. Everyone knows, no words. I don't care. Yeah. Everyone will know the songs. And then we'll have a morning tea afterwards. Yeah. And then I'll say, hey, next week we're going to have a shared lunch. Bring a potluck lunch. We're going to have a picnic on the field. Let's go. Yeah.
Awesome. That's how we started.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we'll do a picnic on the field afterwards, like breaking bread lunch. It's week number 2 in December.
Yeah.
So, and then I've got someone looking for venues or asking about, the buildings around the corner. Yeah. Because I want to start men's prayer on a Wednesday night pretty quickly. Get the men praying. That's going to change everything. Yeah. If men pray, it'll change their household, everything. So if I get the men praying. So I've got someone inquiring about that. And then also someone inquiring about like a 5-space up there. So for midweek stuff. Yeah. So leading into next year, it'd be good to have a place for maybe school of ministry and banquets. Yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
So that's hopefully by mid-year we'll have a 5-space up there. Yeah.
So I know like everyone's super excited, and we've talked about your journey, prior experience, serving out the men's vision, logistics. You're sort of concerned about that. The message, we remember the 3 M's. The last thing I wanted to talk about is the people involved, the team. Now, with the traditional approach to church plan, and even with what we do here, like if we get to the point where the person's ready, we've assessed everything, and at least according to what we can see, it's good to go, it's green light. Generally, we talk about a team approach. Like you got 3 or 4 families that want to come with you. Let's just sit down together with them and make it clear, make the expectation clear. What do you understand as a church? What are we going to do? Because it's the first time they're doing it. He might have 5 or 10 years of service somewhere else, but their families, they're like, oh, we haven't done much. Maybe we've led 1 or 2 things, we haven't done much. So they are being, quote unquote, trained on that. Not our case, because these guys, they've seen how we do it. What do you recommend, like time-wise, time frame, what you talk about with this maybe small group of 3, 4, 5 families that are going to help carry the weight?
What do you? I don't know. I see myself there to serve them. If they're close, because we're involved and they want to support, then I'll ask them to do little things, but I won't appoint them. at the moment. Yeah, slow to a point.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll disappoint.
So you don't want to give any titles?
No
any
titles. No titles.
Clear responsibility or
titles,
anything. It's
no.
just...
I am. They will have, I'll clearly say what we need, and that'll be great. But then we'll just get to know them and see how their family is, see how their kids are, get to know them well, and proximity,
Yeah.
and then go from there.
Yeah.
But I won't be making like, hey, this person's now the
Kids leader or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're all just helping one another at the moment.
Because there's a, in a well-established organization, be it church or whatever, everyone's got a job description.
Yeah.
This is what you do.
Yeah.
Not who you are, but what you do. And a big mistake that people have is that giving them a job description right at the beginning.
Yeah, there's
You
no
don't know
job
them.
descriptions.
So there's not like, you're doing everything. That's the reality. You're doing everything and observing where people...
And I'm
will
bringing
be
people with me.
released.
I'm not doing everything. I'm doing everything, but not doing everything. Like, I'll set up. I'll take the trailer, I'll pack the trailer, I'll see who's there helping me.
Yeah.
And I'll tell them, I'll set it up and say, this is what I want done. This is how I'm doing
Yeah.
it. And they'll do it.
Oh, I remember those days.
Yeah.
We do the chairs.
Yeah.
Next week they do it different.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm like,
can we
no,
change
this
it?
is how we do it, guys. But I'm there. I'm not chopping them.
Yeah.
They're not in that place of being chopped. They're just there to help lift their hands. Someone will say, oh, can I be on the door? Yep, be on the door. Hand these out. Make sure they get these chapel guides.
Yeah.
Morning tea, like my mum will put her hand up for that. So I don't have to worry about it. Rochelle will happily sort that out. So that's good. Another lady I'm going to ask to help out. It'll be amazing. Be awesome. So I won't appoint people into positions. Pastorally will be interesting. There's a couple of people that already help our pastoral team here, but with pastoral needs at that end of the coast. So they're already connected in a pastoral capacity, but I'm not going to call them the pastor.
Yeah. But that's a great advantage. That's a great help to have someone who's already connected to the community.
Absolutely.
So they don't need to develop that rapport.
Yeah.
They don't need those 2-3 years of just...
I mean, Georgia and Brandon said that they would help out in kids, but I'm not going to appoint them kids pastors or anything like that. I'll say thanks for helping out. We're all just helping out until we...
Including you. That's the
I'm
mindset.
just helping out.
Like you're just doing your part.
Yeah, I'm doing my part.
And no one put their hands.
There needs to be a faith community here that's glorifying Jesus, that's seeing lives turn around, people baptized, praying, full of the Holy Spirit, healthy families, healthy finances. They need that in that area, Pimpama, and we're going to start seeing that.
Yeah.
And we'll be strong on that and not hold back, and see the kingdom grow in that neck of the woods.
That's brilliant.
So, I haven't, since yesterday, I haven't thought any more about a public announcement. I haven't thought about how we're going to communicate that on like a website or anything like that. So that's just just mulling around at the moment.
I think so far it's good, man. Like I would just say we got to talk to the people who are going.
Yeah.
The people that you've interacted with already, because you said you don't want to do anything in church, and the only reason why we're doing this is because this comes out after we start the church. So that's
because some people will come the 3rd week, 4th week, 5th week,
once
and
they
say,
hear about it,
and they say, "Oh, how come you didn't say anything?" I'm like, "Well, you're here now. Like, what does it matter? Doesn't matter.
It wasn't a big thing. You didn't miss out on
What is a
anything.
big thing, man? You just got out of having to set up and pack down for 4 weeks. Get your hand dirty and let's go.
That's it.
Clean the toilets."
Yeah. It's good.
So I think we're. I think it's good. I know some of the people up that end who will definitely run banquets. So that's already in the pipeline.
Yeah.
For March next year.
Although there is one thing to think about, and if this doesn't happen, that's fine. It's just us having fun here and thinking about what could happen. The future is a vision of what could be and should be, not what it is. And personally, I think that everyone in the rank, for example, everyone that comes would like to know, hey, this is the date we're starting. That's as simple as that. Starting another church. It's just because they are on the journey, and even though they might not come, they are their tree.
Yeah, look, I might do that on next time I'm sharing.
Or maybe 1 week before.
Yeah.
They are their tree where the fruit comes from.
That's true. I probably will say something.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Like if I know I'll be involved in, like I'm just picking up the dust from your feet, bro. Like I'm involved in everything you're doing. But there's people who are gonna go like, I wish I had known, like I could pray for them.
They probably won't even be there on that Sunday that I announce it.
Yeah, they won't be there. It's just like, I wish I could pray for them, or maybe just like tickle my ego. I just want to know.
Just pray for me anyway.
Shut up, bro. Yeah, just tell them.
Don't pray for me because of what I'm doing.
Team. There's a voice from the
Don't
Spirit.
pray for me because of what I'm doing. Pray for me for who I am.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
That's true.
Oh, but I wanted to pray for you. You can pray for me.
Yeah. I'm right here. Yeah. Right here, right now.
People are like, oh, how come we don't know what's going on in the church? Well,
that's true.
I don't know what's going on in your life. Why should I tell you what's going on in the church?
It is very annoying when you have those certain answers for things.
My life's not in a public view as much as their life.
Yeah.
You know? We're moving house. Where you moved to, all that. Well, how come you didn't tell us? Where do you live? Yeah. When are you moving? What are you doing? You know?
It's the controlling. You know, some people are used to controlling. Or pastors are control freak. Where I come from, for example, there are people who will ask the pastor if they should buy a house. I was like, I'm not a real estate advisor. Like, I don't know if you should buy a house or not.
My answer is, what are you asking me for?
Yes, exactly.
Hurry up.
I'm not the person to do that.
I would recommend buying a house, but I'm not going to tell you to buy a house or not buy a house.
Yeah.
But that's one thing I have always done, is lived in my own house.
Yeah.
Apart from when we rented here for 3 years before I sold my house in New Zealand. But that's pretty much all.
Yeah.
I've always owned the house I live in, generally. That's the aim. So when we sold our house to move up to Pimpama, I'm straight away, I'm not saying, oh, look, place to rent. Straight away, I got to buy. So I won't even see the money.
Yeah.
It'll just go,
One
sold my house, bought the next house.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even see it. So it just happens to be all at the same time we're starting a church.
Yeah. Friday.
Yeah.
Unloading on Friday.
Yeah. And then reloading for Sunday.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon, load it up. Yeah, I'll be there, bro.
It's going to be cool, man.
I'll be there.
Yeah, it's going to be so cool. I think there's going to be excitement. I think the people in Pimpama are going to be excited.
What truck are we loading? That old one? That thing can't take any trailer, bro. It's falling into pieces.
Yeah, no, I'll probably have the van, the 12-seater.
Yeah.
I'll probably...
Back it all up and put a trailer at the back.
Well, it's got no tow bar. I'll use Brandon's truck, and we'll put the trailer on that. So, and we haven't asked for storage at the school. Maybe we can store stuff over the holidays because there'll be no one there.
There'll be no one there. Yeah, it's not a big deal for them. It's not a big deal.
I'll just talk to them.
Even in that kitchen, that gym area with this toys and stuff.
At the back far corner. Back.
Yeah. No one's going to be using that until Feb.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. No, that's... I'm
coming
so
along. It's coming along. That's awesome. Yeah, bro, let's finish this up. It's good. Man, thanks for sitting down. And I think the journey for the episodes is really cool. Like we did a couple before, and then we did the trip. And then when people see this whole thing together, and I hope you're enjoying when we're watching this, you see the journey coming along, and then you're, at the same time, you're seeing, oh, the church has just started. Which is cool.
And then we'll capture the first Sunday.
Yeah.
So in the van, driving with the flags, putting the signs out.
Hiding in the back because we don't want to scare people. It's not big. Just like hiding in the back.
We should do that, eh?
Yeah. Done. There you go.
All right.